In this video, I'm going to show you how to make ornaments out of wood slices. To begin, I'm in Design Space and I'm going to click on Images and search for dog paw. Okay, the one I want to use is right here at the top, so I'm going to select it and click on Insert. Now I'm going to resize it just a little bit so I can figure out what sizing I want the next paw to be that I'm going to search for. Okay, I'm going to click on Images again, and now I'm going to search for cat paw. Since I don't see one right up top, I'm going to scroll a little bit to see if I can find one that I want to use. Oh, there's a great one. It looks a lot like my other paw that I picked. Just gonna make sure that I don't see any others really quick, and I didn't, so I'm going with this one. Now I'm going to size it to match the dog paw, and then I'm going to duplicate the cat paw because I have 2 cats and I'm making these ornaments to represent my animals. Next step is to add my animals' names to the paws. I'm going to start with my dog Serene. I'm going to change the font to one that I feel like matches her a little bit better. I pre-picked out the fonts for all of my animals. So here's the first one. And then I'm going to just kind of eyeball the sizing for now, and then I'll come back to it later and make it what it needs to be. Next is Felix, and I'm going to change up his font too really quickly. There you go, that's better. And then the last one is Shiloh. And I'm going to change her font. Perfect. That looks like a Shiloh font to me. Now I'm going to actually fix the sizing to fit inside the paws the way that I want it to be. So hang tight for just a minute while I do that, and then I'll explain the next step. Okay, so rather than putting 2 layers of vinyl on these ornaments, I'm just going to have my Cricut cut out the words. So how you do that is you select the paw and the name, and you click on slice, and then you remove the extra layers that the slicing creates. It'll be 2 layers. It's the red name and then it's the black part that got cut out. So watch me do it again on these other 2, and then you'll have the hang of it. Also, spoiler, if you notice from my first picture, Shiloh ends up with a different paw, which I'll show you cutting out a little bit later in this video. I found that paw after I did this recording and I really wanted to use it. Okay, so it's time to click on Make It. And then I'm going to space them out just a little bit because I'm using 2 different colors of vinyl on the same mat. Then I'm going to click on Continue. And now I'm going to select the material I'm using, which is vinyl. And now we move over to the machine. As previously mentioned, I'm just going to put the 2 colors of vinyl on the same mat rather than have to run the mat through the machine twice. I don't always do this, but when it's little cutouts like this, I like to do it to save a little bit of time. Okay, now I can remove the vinyl from the mat. I do so by flipping it over and rolling the mat away from the vinyl. This helps it to not create creases in the vinyl. I'm going to start by weeding. Weeding is removing the excess vinyl that will not be used in the final product. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to be uploading a new paw for Shiloh. First, I'm going to click on New Project and then click on Upload, Upload Image, Browse, and then that top file is one that I downloaded. And then I'm going to rename this file. Then click Upload. Then select the paw and hit Insert Image. For this paw, I'm going to do the same thing I did on the other paws for the name. The only thing that I'm doing differently is I'm going to use a couple of shapes and the slice tool to remove that circle at the top of the paw because I don't want it or need it. Okay, so rather than slice, I'm going to select both images and click on Attach. This makes it so that the word Shiloh stays in place when I click on Make It and doesn't move it into its own space. Okay, that's done and it looks good. Since I already showed you the weeding process once, we are going to skip over that, move the machine, and get right to the project. I messed up on Shiloh's name, so I had to cut it out a second time, which is why you're not seeing it there in the middle of the paw and you're seeing it on its own sheet. Right now, I am cutting the transfer tape to be the size of the paw so that I can move Shiloh's name over to the middle of the paw, and then I can put the entire thing on the piece of transfer tape so that it is ready when it's time to put it on the wood ornament. First, I'm peeling the backing off the transfer tape, and now I'm picking up Shiloh's name. I rub it on the front and then I rub it on the back because the idea is that you're pushing the vinyl onto the transfer tape. Now I'm sticking it down, and while I'm here, I'm just going to get the entire paw scraped with my scraper and onto the transfer sheet so that it's ready to go. I'm going to put it back on its original backing and set it aside and move on to the other two paws. Now that the vinyl's all ready to go, it is time to paint the wood slices. I'm using a multi-surface paint in red, green, and white. I let the paint sit overnight to dry, and now it is time to put on the cute vinyl paws. First is Felix. I simply peeled it off the backing, and now I'm using my scraper to push it down to make sure that it adheres really well to the wood slice. As I'm putting these down, I'm noticing that unfortunately this transfer tape is leaving behind sticky residue. I've never had that happen before. I'm going to use some alcohol and a lint-free pad, and I'm just going to rub gently over the top of the vinyl to get that residue off. Unfortunately, it is taking a small amount of paint as well, but nothing that changes the look of the ornament. As I cleaned off the residue, I noticed that it turned the black vinyl on Serene's ornament a little foggy, which I clean with Windex after it's dry. I'm in the home stretch and to the funnest part, in my opinion. Right now I'm just cutting the twine, and I have some cute little bows and some little beads that I'm going to be using for the ornaments. I was having a little bit of a hard time with the twine on the ends. I'm putting a little bit of hot glue on the ends just to help push it through the whole of the beads. Okay, Felix is done. Now I'm going to put the twine through the two girls' ornaments, and then I'm going to glue bows on them, and that's it. Thanks for watching this video. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. If you have questions, please be sure to comment. See you next time.